From MTN News, this is Montana This Morning.
Good Tuesday morning. It's 5 o'clock. Welcome to Montana This Morning. I'm Victoria Hill. Thank you so much for starting your day with us. Our top story this morning, the vaccines are here, and today some Billings healthcare workers will be among the first Montanans to be vaccinated against COVID-19. This video is from when the vials of Pfizer BioNTech vaccine arrived at St. Vincent Healthcare. They're being stored away in an ultra-cold freezer, waiting until 2 o'clock this afternoon when the people working on the front lines will be vaccinated. St. Vincent Healthcare's chief medical officer said the vaccines arrived earlier than expected, but there is a limited number on hand, and that's why the hospital and state are working together to develop a distribution plan.
We'll be starting with those people that are actively taking care of COVID patients or in and out of the COVID room, such as our environmental services people and the emergency department, the ICU, et cetera. But they will be first people up to receive the vaccine. But given the quantity of vaccine we have, we'll rapidly move into our tier 2 distribution list.
Billings Clinic will receive their first doses today and plan to begin vaccinating staff at noon. Across the country, many healthcare workers are already receiving the vaccine. The first doses were administered on the same day that the country's COVID-19 death toll topped 300,000. Nearly 3 million Pfizer doses will roll out this week, with an additional 3 million next week, and 20 million are expected by the end of the year. Nursing home residents are next after healthcare workers and should start getting the vaccine next week. New numbers are putting the death toll from the pandemic into perspective. The CDC tracks excess deaths, or deaths that are above the yearly averages. Right now, they say over 290,000 more Americans have died in 2020 than in a typical year. On average in the U.S., 7,700 people die every day. Well, this year that number is over 8,000. In Montana, the daily death average is 24. In 2020, the state averaged 3 extra deaths per day. Experts attribute 2 out of every 3 excess deaths in the country to the virus. Now it's time to turn our attention to weather. Ed joins us here on the set with that on this Tuesday. Are we going to see some snow melting?
Yes. In fact, we can see quite a bit of it start to melt here as we start getting into the next couple of days. Today is going to be more of a let's change the weather pattern kind of day. We had 28 for a very mild start this morning, so it isn't going to take too long for the temperatures to edge above freezing and see some melting, but they're not going to get that far above the freezing mark today. Check out teens across eastern Montana from Miles City up towards Glasgow and Williston right now at 13 along with Jordan, but it's 30 for you in Sheridan, Wyoming, 15 in Cody, 25 for our friends over in Livingston this morning. The winds aren't a big deal to get the day started. Most of the wind speeds are less than 15 miles per hour, but we will see the winds increase as we start getting later into the afternoon. Across southern Montana and northern Wyoming, well, we're starting off teens and 20s. Even here in Billings, we'll see a bit of a warm up as the day goes on. Temperatures start to hit stride, hitting the mid to lower 30s today, but the real melting of the snow will come in the coming days. We'll talk about that coming up in a few minutes.
The melting of the snow.
The melting of the snow. Sounds like we should have like a festival or
Yeah,
something.
exactly. Yeah, the melting of the snow. All right. Thank you for that weather update. I'll get back to updating folks on the news.
Thanks.
Well, 2 people are dead following a fatal crash in Bighorn County. The accident happened yesterday afternoon on Highway 212, about 10 miles west of Lame Deer. Montana Highway Patrol troopers confirmed the 2 deaths, but said they could not release any other information on the crash. MHP was joined by the FBI at the scene of the accident. Officials say they will continue to investigate the cause of the crash. On to Crime Watch. We're learning more about the events that led to the murder of a teenage girl at a Billings home on Wyoming Avenue last week. According to prosecutors, a 17-year-old boy told police he shot Daisy Moore at a house party. He's facing felony deliberate homicide charges and could spend life in prison if convicted. The night of the crime, Daisy Moore was found dead in a bedroom with a gunshot wound to the head from a .45 caliber pistol. Witnesses told police the shooting happened while a group of people were drinking together at the home. They said some of them were messing around with the gun throughout the night. At one point, witnesses say the defendant pointed the pistol at Moore. When she jokingly told the defendant he would not shoot her, he did. Police say the gun used in the shooting was stolen. Now we go to Bozeman, where an 18-year-old is facing attempted homicide charges for stabbing his roommate between 20 and 50 times. Cyrus Mims appeared in a Bozeman courtroom yesterday. Court documents say he and his two roommates were sitting in the living room together for hours when he got up and started stabbing one of them unprovoked. The victim was stabbed in the chest, neck, and face and suffered 2 punctured lungs and a broken neck. Mims was acting strange in court and said he felt the victim was a source of negative energy.
Do you understand your constitutional right, sir, that I've advised you?
There's a lot of words, and honestly not really, but I think it'll be fine. Yeah, so we'll be able to take a shower after this. I don't know, I'm a little grimy right now. Are there any female attorneys? What's the judge's name?
Mims' bond was set at $500,000. The condition of the victim is unknown. In election news, the Electoral College has chosen Joe Biden to be the nation's next president. Biden received 306 electoral votes. President Trump got 232. Advisors say the president nonetheless plans to continue to contest the election results. Montana's 3 electoral voters all cast their votes for President Trump. The ceremony went off without a hitch and was presided over by Montana Secretary of State Corey Stapleton. Fresh off the Electoral College victory, Joe Biden is heading to campaign in Georgia. Biden is teaming up with the Democratic National Committee to try to elect the Democrat Senate candidates and tip the balance of power in the Senate. The president-elect has even shifted 50 paid staffers from his successful national campaign to help the Senate races in Georgia. Attorney General William Barr has submitted his letter of resignation. That's according to President Trump. It comes after Barr, It comes after Barr announced that the Justice Department found no evidence of widespread voter fraud in the election. The comment has been causing tension between Barr and the president, who has been fighting legal battles claiming otherwise. In a tweet, President Trump said Barr would be leaving the administration just before Christmas to spend holidays with his family.